little Thumbelina was terrified as the Maybug flew away with her. But stronger than her fear was her grief for the poor little white butterfly she had chained to the leaf with her ribbon. If he did not get loose, he would starve to death. The Maybug didn't care what happened to the butterfly. He placed Thumbelina on the biggest leaf on the tree. He gave her honey from the flowers to eat and told her that she was the loveliest thing she had ever seen, that he had ever seen, even though she didn't look like a Maybug. Soon, all the other Maybugs that lived in the tree came visiting. Two young lady Maybugs, they were still unmarried, wiggled in their antennae and said, "She has only 2 legs. How wretched. No antennae. And a thin waist. How disgusting. She looks like a human being. How ugly." All the other female bugs agreed with them. The Maybug, who had caught Thumbelina, still thought her lovely, but when all the others kept insisting she was ugly, he soon was convinced of it too. Now, he didn't want her any longer and put her down on a daisy in the foot of the tree and told her she could go wherever she wanted to for all he cared. Poor Thumbelina cried. She thought it was terrible to be so ugly that even a Maybug would not want her. Though in truth she was more beautiful than you could imagine, more lovely than the petal of the most beautiful rose.
Oh, my poor tummy hurts.
All summer long, Thumbelina lived alone in the forest. She wove a hammock out of grass and hung it underneath a dock of leaves so that it would not rain on her while she slept. She ate honey in the flowers and drank dew that was on the leaves every morning. Summer and autumn passed, but then came winter, the long, cold winter. All the birds that had sung so beautifully flew away. The flowers withered and the trees lost their leaves, and the dock leaf that had protected her rolled up itself and became a shriveled yellow stalk. She was terribly cold and her clothes were in shreds, and she was so thin and delicate. Poor Thumbelina, she was bound to freeze to death. It started to snow, and each snowflakes that fell on her was like a whole shovel full of snow would be to us. Because we are so big and she is so small. She wrapped herself in the wizened leaf, but it gave no warmth, and she shivered from the cold. Not far from the forest was a big field where grain had grown. Only a few dry stubble still rose out of the frozen ground, pointing up to the heavens. To Thumbelina, these straws were like a forest. Trembling, she wandered through them and came to the entrance of the field mouse house. There the mouse lived in warmth and comfort, with full larder and a nice kitchen. Like a beggar child, Thumbelina stood outside the door and begged for a single grain of barley. It had been several days since she had eaten last. "Poor little wretch," said the field mouse, for she had a kind heart. "Come down into my warm living room and dine with me." The field mouse liked Thumbelina.